Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Regs Automotive. Today we are continuing this video on the 20. Actually, it's an '08 BMW 650 CI convertible, where the customer actually purchased the engine. We installed the engine, and it turns out that the engine wouldn't turn. So today we're going to attempt to tear the motor apart and try to figure out why is the engine is not turning, is not rotating like it should. After installing the engine, we try to put the converter bolts to connect the flex plate together, and that is when we discovered that the engine wouldn't rotate. Um, I did drain the oil out of it, if you want to call it oil. It was very milky and very full of bearing crystals and stuff like that inside of it. So I'm not sure if the engine ran out of oil or whatever's going on with it. But today we're going to take it apart and try to figure out what's wrong with the engine, why the engine wouldn't rotate for us to install it. All right, first up, we're going to try to remove the harnesses from the engine. Try to remove that. There's going to be a lot of parts here today. I wish I had a big drum. I'd just put everything in it. But it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of parts. Ripping them everywhere. All right. So first up, we're going to get, let's get our, I'm going to put this icon light on top of it right here. Well, yeah, it's going to be nothing on these engines anymore. Actually, metal that these magnetic icon light can actually stick on, which sucks. I am curious to know what's going on the side of the engine. Very, very curious. Get these two plates off. Hold on one second. I just gotta grab something to, like an empty box or something to put the screws and everything that comes off of the engine in. Some kind of bucket. Be right back. Well, I found something that's very useful. It's one of these cement mixing pans. I'm just going to put all of the stuff that comes off of the engine, I'm going to put it in that. All right. You might need a couple of pliers here. All right, here comes one side. Just put that over there, get that out of the way. Couple of pliers. I need to get to it. Oops, goes that. That just broke right off. Piece of plastic. We'll take the connectors off of the camshaft. We'll move on over to this side. Everything's plastic. You see that? BMW and Audi. All plastic. And it's hard to keep them, take them off in one piece before they break right off. They just usually snap. All dry rotted. I couldn't tell you why they do that. All right, so right side cam. We'll get off the cam connectors, disconnect the air conditioning harness. Let's squeeze that out right there from the side. All right. Comes the harness roll off to the back. Strip that down. All right, she looks like she's coming along nicely. Get that off. All the way down is going to go to the starter. Need to get the 10 millimeter socket set up. Gain access to the starter. And I'm sorry, I'm The only cameraman is trying to do this. I don't have a cameraman with me, which would be nice, but I don't have one. Young kids these days are not interested in what we do. Put that in there. Taking the wires off of the starter solenoid right now. And we'll get the starter off. Oh, that's the wrong size. Why did I get a 12 instead of a 13? All right, here that comes. Ooh, come on now. Good. Let's put that back on there so the starter will stay in one place. In one place and in one piece. All righty. Looks like the harness is pretty much off. Wow, the harness is off. Guys, I wish this was actually the way it was, the way it should be when it's installed in the car. But it's not that easy. So off with that. Let's see if we can put a light in the back here that's magnetic. All right, so next we're going to attempt to take off the intake manifold. We're going to attempt to take that off. And just let us get the right socket and configuration to be able to accomplish that. All right. We'll put the 13 right here. So we're going to go after these screws here. I think it's 10 of them. All 11 millimeter screws. I mean nuts, actually. So, oops, fell down in there. Get our magnet. Stick that there for now. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Come to the home of Rex Automotive here, where we always do everything that's hard, the hard way. All right, so that's off. Get all the screws out. We have just reached down here and just collect these nuts. I don't think we're going to be putting this motor back together or using any kind of parts off it. But who knows? You just never know, you know. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So we just don't know if we're going to be using it back or not, but just save it instead of wasting it. I am curious to know what the hell is going on inside of this engine. All right. After being a mechanic for quite a number of years, I can only imagine, and I have a hunch, but you know, you could be wrong sometimes, but we'll see. We'll all get to see. All right, here comes the intake. Lift straight up on it. Back and forward, wiggle, wiggle. Come on now. Come on, what's going on here? All right. So I think we have what is connected to it. It's not going to come off like that. Okay, here comes the intake manifold. It's going to come right off the vehicle. We're just going to set that aside. Get that out of the way. That might be a little too big to go in that pile. So I had previously taken off the valve covers on both sides. So I'm just going to take this right up and set it aside also. Comes off the left side. Here goes the right side also. Why is that so hard? All right. Why is that so? Okay. Comes the right side valve cover off the car. All right. So now we're actually looking at all four camshafts, right? And I can see a little bit of remnants of water might be coming in here at some point. But like I said, the valve curves, you know, they were on there. So if anything, water would go into the cylinders instead of going into on the cam gears itself, because the valve cover would be on it, right? And this is a pretty good shelter in terms of any weather, right? But there's a lot of moisture remnants on the inside here. So we are going to attempt to remove the timing cover. Can we do that? Is that going to be hard? That is going to be hard for us. All right, let's just take out this valley pan. Get this harness out of here. All right, we'll take off the air conditioning compressor so we can have a little bit more room here. Just a little bit more room to see. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Comes the compressor. Air compressor is off. Gonna reach on over here. What else we have? We have a couple of mounts, and they are not affecting the timing chain. They're not affecting the timing chain. It's a big, strong, heavy light. Hope I can get it to stay on. We have a smaller one in the out back, but I guess that is not going to work in our favor where we want things to be. Nothing, like I said, nothing anymore on vehicles are actually metal that can sustain the weight of any modern light, you know? All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take off the belt tensioner. It goes the tensioner comes off. Then we're gonna move towards this pain in the ass, alternator bracket down on the side over here. We'll just take that bracket off. I'll tell you what, it would be so nice to have a camera person actually getting into the nitty and gritty and showing you guys it. So we'll just take off the alternator bracket here real quick. Looks like we have to loose the mount in order to get that access to that, which we will do right now. Let's get the mount off. Okay. Engine mount. Looks like that is the wrong tool for that. Okay. Where is it? Oh, there's a special socket for it. It's a Turk socket. It's right there. And we got that. Turk bit socket. Ouch! I have to use a heavier gun. Heavier gun with a better socket so we can gain access to, before we'll be able to gain access to that nut. Just bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back over there. Just trying to find the right extension. This tool pile here. All right, so I guess that's not going to work. I have to do it the other way. It's a special extension that we use. I've had several of them. Couldn't get my hands on one right now. It's somewhere looking at me, but we'll just leave it at that. All right, taking the bolts off of the nuts off of the alternator bracket here. Okay. All right. Use this to speed it up a little bit. All right. All right, that goes the engine mount. Alternator bracket is going to be 15 and 2/13s. And a star in the front. Star socket in the front. Let's attempt to get the star first. Star is out. It's going to be 13 millimeter in the front. Two of them, one on the top, one on the bottom. Right? 13 millimeter, and then we're going to get the 15 for the back bolt. All right. Let's see if we can now get this off. One more 13 to go. Lots of hidden screws on BMWs. And you do not want to fuck around before you break something. Comes to 13. You do not want to mess around with these. They could be expensive to repair. Okay. Comes the bolt. And here comes the alternator bracket with the pain in the ass A-type gasket here that we just replaced. A real pain in the ass when that goes bad in the car. Gotta drop the subframe and everything to get that out, which is not pretty. All right, so I think we have to flip the motor over in order for us to gain any kind of access to the cover up front. Which we'll be doing, we'll take off the this front first. Front cover here first. Get the right screw here. Get that off. It might be the 7 millimeter. Let me see here. Oh. Got to find the right socket. All these funny little sockets that goes on this thing. We'll try this one. Nope. It's not a 7. Already tried that. Let me just walk on over here to my toolbox and get the correct tool. Get the correct tool. All right. Which is T15, I think it says. There we go. T15. It's going to be how many screws? 6 of them. 6 of them. All right, so, all right, let's tap on that. It's going to be 6 of them. Here comes the Vanos housing. Carefully pull that back. Here it comes, it's off. The left side Vanos housing, let's attack the right side. Now we're going to take off the air assisted brake assist pump here. Get that off. I think it's 3 screws. Looks like it's pretty much off. Just pry on this right here. And that comes right off with the gasket right there. All right. That's the vacuum pump right there. So we just got that off. Now we're going to go after the right side Vano housing. We're taking it off. Oh man, 6 screws. Good old Milwaukee. All right, they're all removed. Let us try to. Customer did say that the person who sold him the engine said that the engine had 50,000 miles on it. 50,000 miles and not running. It's kind of weird, you know? It's kind of weird for us. But again, like I said, I blame it to myself. It's my fault. I should have rotated the engine when I first got it. Right side Venus housing. That would be the right side. All right, so now, if you could see, I don't know if you can, you should be able to, is that the timing chains are exposed. Everything looks like pretty normal inside. The timing chain is pretty tight. No broken guides, not loose or slack. This one has a little, wait a minute. That one has a little play. Just kind of strange. I have to look at that. So now I guess we have to, in order to get the timing cover out, we would have to rotate the engine and get the bolts on the bottom loose. But while we're doing that, we should take off the oil pan also, I would think. All right, so I'm just gonna rotate this engine over and see, let's get things off. Just gonna drop the camera down a little bit, just so you guys can have a better view of what's going on. Engine is rotating and also draining. That's all of the mystery oil that we had in the system is now currently draining itself out. That is to show you how much mystery oil we put in there, you know. Ooh, look at that. Very dirty. It would not rotate. All right, so engine is completely upside down. We are going to attempt to remove the primary oil pan. Primary oil pan is gonna come off now. Guys, this thing stinks. We are taking off the primary oil pan. Lots of screws. Lots of screws. That is filling up my hands right now. Throw that in the side over there. Missed that one. But that is definitely in a good place. Lots of screws, guys. All righty, so we got everything off, I think. All the screws are completely off. We will just use probably a nice spatula type scraper and kind of like, you know, get a small little hammer, we'll tap on it and get that pan off. Pan should be glued on. Should be glued on. Yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. Comes the primary oil pan right there. We're gonna set that aside. Inside the oil pan, as you can see, there's a lot of gunk inside here, you know. And I don't see any bearing material, but there's a lot of things like the timing chain fell apart. This is all plastic that probably came off of something. I'm not sure what that is yet. But hopefully we can find out as we go deeper into it. All right, so we're on the oil pan and we are going to attempt to remove it if we can. If we can. All right, we gotta have to flip it back over real quick because I just saw something. It looks like I installed one of the brackets for the engine hoist, the engine support hoist on one of the pins where the pan need to come off. So I got to reach back over there and move that around a little bit, just so we can be able to gain proper access to it. Have to free this up a little bit. Oops. 19. Lots of work. Lots of work. Get access to that. Lots of work. All right, cool. So that's that. And I'm going to be using 11 millimeter to get that off. Or 12. Might even be a 13. Let's see. Nope. Like I said, 11 mil. 11 mil. All right, so you can now put that on that right there. And just hold it. So let me get a nut to go on it real quick. That happens sometimes when you don't have things in the right place. Let's see if it'll take this nut here. Looks like it took it beautifully. Beautifully. All right, so gonna hold it right there and tighten down on the back part of it. Looks like it's 15 or 13 millimeter. I think it's a 15 millimeter. 13 can't be. Maybe a 15 millimeter. 15 millimeter wrench. Gotta hold the back of it. All right, that sounds healthy. Just gonna tighten it back up. And gonna flip the motor back over. Now that it has the proper support right there. Guys, I just bought this engine stand, and I gotta tell you, it is gorgeous. Put this over here. It's so easy compared to how I used to use the older engine stand that I had for like 20 years or better. I've currently got another engine on that stand just for a Range Rover sitting on the back, so it's preoccupied, and we don't want to break it up. So, all right, so we'll get this is the bolts for the timing cover. Get that off while we have it there. Timing cover bolts. So now the 10. Gonna step over onto the back side and get the ones in the back also for the rear main seal cover. All right. Good. So all 10s millimeters. Now we're gonna switch the socket system over to 13 millimeter and get the 13 millimeter bolts on the inside. All the way around. All the way around. I don't know what's going on with it inside of this engine as yet. My guess is just as good as you guys. Get all these bolts off. And it too many bolts. We get that down in the bottom. Stick it on over there. And use the magnet to get the rest of them. All right. Guys, I got to tell you, doing this oil pan in the vehicle, it would not be fun at all. It looks easy while it's on the outside, and we have the proper tools to be able to do it. But in the vehicle, oh my God, it's a nightmare. You got all kinds of shit everywhere. All right, one more bolt to go in the back over there. Kind of missed that one. And then this oil pan should be able to pop right up. Too many bolts. Okay, here we go. Here comes the secondary oil pan. Big old boy, as you can see back here, it is full of water mixed with oil and all kinds of stuff that's going on with it. So we'll just set this down on the tray right here. Set that down on the tray. And we're embarked upon the oil pump system in this vehicle. Stick my hand down in the oil strainer. Lots of debris comes out of it. And get this light out of your face because you might not be able to see properly. Off. Good. So that's off right there. Now I think we're going to attempt to remove the timing cover and have things a little bit more exposed. All right, let's go for it. 13 here, 13 there. Oh, she refused. He has refused. Wow, why is that one stuck? Okay, here it comes. Need Big Daddy there. That one needs Big Daddy. I'm in cover bolts. Here she comes. Guys, bolts everywhere. Bolts and nuts every freaking way on this thing. All right. Now there's 13 right here. 13 right there. I would not want to do a timing chain on this car, that's for sure. You gotta leave that for the bigger guys, not me. All right, so we're coming up on some, looks like we have some knot of bolts on the inside that we have to crack loose here real quick. These are the Turk bolts. That's gonna crack them loose, and then we'll use the ratchet to ratchet them out. Ooh, so you can hear that. It is not fun trying to crack that. They have been in there for eternity. All right. So we'll get this. Let's hope we could be able to go around the chain and get to it. Yep, there goes one. Yep, we got two of them. Beautiful. Got a third one. Excellent. And then there is one. Good. Excellent. Looks like we got all four off. This is the oil pan gasket. Let's carefully remove that. Never know, we might want to use it back. What do you think? Not. All right, so I'm gonna get a rubber hammer and then I'm gonna tap on the front oil cover here to get it off. Oh. Okay. Oh, we have one more bolt. Look at that. One more bolt hitting in the archives. Like I said, it's a lot of bolts, especially when the cover is as dirty as it is. You can hardly see all of them. But we got all of them for the most part. And there might be one here or there. Might be one here or there. So this is like a rubber hammer, guys. Rubber hammer. You got another one here? No, we don't. So we're just gonna push, try to get a little tool down in there to kind of like separate the two jaws from holding on to each other here. It's gonna kind of push things out, you know. Again, we're not trying to save anything here, but you know, we are mechanics, so we just don't want to destroy. So, okay. We don't believe in destroying things. If we was to put these back together, we would definitely get some proper gaskets. As we do that, it's going to go back, kind of pushing it out. We're walking it out of the of the system. I think if I have perhaps 2 screwdrivers, that might help a lot. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that might help. So let me just grab another screwdriver. Grab another screwdriver here. Okay, there it is. This would probably work. And it's all because of that freaking seal up front right here, right? Yeah, look at that. That is on there. We're gonna need to take that out. I think we would. We might need to take that out. We might need to. You can see the impression on. Okay, all right, good. So just gonna use the tool to blow that off real quick. All right, that looks like it's going to be a 27 millimeter. I'm not sure. Uh-oh, that's too big. That would be too big. But we're gonna try it anyway. Try it anyway. Okay, see this here? This is old school air gun. I trust this gun more than the electrical air guns that they're now coming out with. The air gun that they come out with, that electric gun that they come out with is so heavy that when you hit the bolt, it kind of like juggles your wrist and eventually destroys your wrist over here. I had a lot of pain because I used it for a very long time. All right. So left hand tread. Left hand tread. All right, so we're going to heat it up a little bit. We have to, and get the proper socket to fit on there. Get the proper socket. I think this is it right here. It should be a 27 millimeter. Yep. Let's try it again without heating it up. Okay. Yes, sir. We got it off. There goes that big old crankshaft bolt with 1,000 pounds of torque on that. You would probably not want to release this bolt in the vehicle because I think it messes with the timing on these vehicles. I think this might be a keyless timing system, and we might still have a little hard time here trying to get this out. Must be some sort of pulley system that could press this out of there. Let's see here. I think there is, but let's see. After doing that. All right. I guess we have to put that precious bolt back in and get a special tool that can be able to press on that and pull it out. Let's see if we could do that. A little bit of a special case. Special test kit. Okay. We have here a Range Rover puller set, and we're gonna try to see if we can make that work. Something like that. This is all made up for myself, and we have to get perhaps a couple of bolts that'll be willing to go down in here. Where is it? Yeah, that's it. That would be willing to go down in there, but I would have to That would be willing to go down, but that wouldn't be willing to go down. Oh my goodness. So, that's the part that I don't get. So we need 2 bolts like that we could feed down in there. Beautiful. Good thing we can use them from the car. And I'll put these in here. Screw them down a little bit. Probably just use the 13mm to snug up on it. Let's make them a little tight before we start pushing on it. Okay, there we go. All right, so good. Let's see if we could pull it now. Let's see if it'll take it. Kind of screws that. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look at that, huh? Look at that, man. She just popped right off. That's what I like. The makeshift tools working its best. Gonna adjust the crank bolt out a little bit, and we're gonna push it a little bit more so we can pop it right off. There we go. Boom. So this tool usually works wonders here. It's by Pittsburgh Tool. I think from Harbor Freight, and there's many different applications that this tool can apply to. You know, I've used it a number of times, and on Range Rovers they have like a special crank pulley set that you can remove, and they want hundreds of dollars for that set. But if you have a little creative brain, you don't need to buy that set. All right, so let's just set this aside now that we got the pulley off. We'll take this back to where it belongs, and we'll try to attempt to pry on this timing cover to get it off. Oh, look at that. Come right off. Beautiful. Timing cover is off with the tiny gaskets that we can probably not reuse again. All right, so timing chain is exposed, as you can see right here. They are exposed. I guess you guys can see it a little bit. I'll just back up a little bit. So how about that? They are exposed. They look good on the inside. Does not appear to have anything wrong with it. I was questioning one of the guides, plastic guide on the inside of the engine, and this one right here is hidden by metal. I still can't tell whether that guy is good or not, but everything looks pretty tight. It should be good. All right, so let's just get the oil pump off and continue. We will continue. Let's get that off. It's going to be a 15mm for the front of it, oil pump gear. There she comes. She's right off. Pop that off. The chain is going to go right in there. We'll keep the nut on the oil pump shaft. You never know. You might find somebody that wants it. All right, so let's get the 13mm and let's continue with popping off the oil pump system here. Off. All right. So what we're doing here, I wonder what the hell the dealer would charge for that. Okay, I think my gun is dying. I wonder what the dealership would charge for something like that. If you ever have to replace something like that for them. Or I don't think these engines they might not be actually built to replace oil pumps. Because by the time you get to that, you probably already failed. All right, so it comes to bolts. Oil pump bolts are off. Set them down right there. And there should be some oil. Okay, let's see if we can get them. Do the shaky. Ooh, it's not going as well. Okay, there we go. So the oil pump's off. This is the oil pump system here with the oil filter housing. Set that down over there. So now that reveals the connecting rods. That definitely reveals the connecting rods. And all of the connecting rods, and I wish I had cameraman that could actually bring you guys in here close so you guys can actually see. But the connecting rods are revealed, and the main journals are also revealed. It look pretty good in here, to be honest with you guys. It looks amazing, like nice and clean. So this engine probably, yes, indeed, it might have the 50,000 miles like the guy said it did. But I don't know. So let's get the timing chain off because sometimes that could build a little tension on it, and we'll put back the crank pulley in there. I mean the crank bolt, and then we're going to try to rotate it once again. We'll try to rotate it once again to see if we find any success, and I'll get the right Turk socket for that. If you find any success in this engine turning over, because I don't know what the hell is causing this. I couldn't tell you guys what's causing it. All right, so the little dumbbell, when you replace the water pumps, you want to get that replaced, because that would be a pain in the ass to figure out that is actually bad. So, all right, so let's just take the tensioners off before we go any further. Would that be, that's probably like a 27, 28. Get the tensioners off while we at it. Where is the socket go? All right, did I leave the socket over here? I must have. That's probably bigger than that. Oh, that might actually be a 27. Let me just go back with that. Now, I was so excited that came off. Where did I leave that socket? My goodness, the socket is looking for me. We might have to cheat it again. Let's see if it'll move with this. It might move. Yes, it did. Timing chain tensioner right there. It did move with it. All right, so that's one chain. Is there another one here? Yes, there is. Timing chain tensioner. Pretty simple. All right, so they're both off. Just gonna remove the guides. Let's just take the guides off. So it's always good to have with us a bigger table so we could see exactly where we leave all the tools. All right. And it's off. Comes guide number one. Going up with this one. Here comes guide one. And the guide look like they're in pretty good shape. It's not broken, that one. Just check this one here. This is the one that is kind of hard to go with the timing chain here. Oh, I'm trying to just work it. Okay. I refuse to work itself. Need a little bit of help on this screwdriver. All right, so this one is in good shape too. I just happened to pop the plastic right off of it because this chain has a little tension on it. All right, so, well, it used to go this way where it hooks in, where the actual guide hooks into the top of it, and it goes around, but I just popped the bottom part of it off, so this would be no good. Which I wasn't hoping to put it back together. All right, so we're gonna go after chain number one. And chain holder is part of the Vanos system. Man, God, this is a lot of tension. I think something's wrong with the. All right, let's check the other side first and free that up. Coming out. All right, what's going on with this? What is going on with that? Why isn't this moving? All right, so that one's off. Okay, these usually come off by just press those on there. Wow. Okay, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How do you get that off? There's a big nut in the back of this one. I guess you have to get some kind of 28 wrench or something like that to gain access to that. But I think I have a. It's not a 24. Can't be. It's not a 24 wrench. Let me walk over here and get a 27, perhaps. Perhaps it's a 27 or a 26. We don't fix trucks, big old trucks, but we have some wrenches that are size 26. It is not the 26. Yep, and it looks like it's a 1 1/8 wrench that just was able to break it loose. 1 1/8. Just gonna wind that back. A 1 1/8. We get tension off it. Okay, so they both come out that way. So, wow. All right, I don't want to wind it all the way up without being able to free it. So, I guess we have to take off the Vanos first before we can be able to get that off. All right, let's off with the Vanos sensors. I mean the oil control sprockets. Off with the oil control sprockets. What are they? 15 or 18? What are they? 15 millimeter. It should be. It might be. Well, I can't get in there. Okay, we're looking at the regular stuff. We will be looking at the 16, perhaps. 16. Here it comes. 2, 3. That's all of them right there. Beautiful. There comes the Vanos right there. Right side. Left side. I keep saying Vanos. Oil control valve, like timing sprockets right there. Then you can gain access to the chain. And the chain, like I said, is in pretty good shape. Why is that one's not coming off? Why aren't you coming off? First chain. Chain looks like they're pretty good. I would have to measure them to figure out if they stretch or not. All right, so that too. Wow. That sucks, guys. So we got to keep winding this thing. Figured I would put a bolt here to be able to attach that. Is there a bolt? No, that's a nut. Really? Looks like we have to. Okay, yeah. That's what I figure. That you have to get that off at some point. All right, so that comes off, and it does have what you call it again? Some gaskets in here. So I guess these usually get supplied with oil, and then the oil goes through the little hole right there, and gets pumped up to lubricate the chain. That is what I'm guessing. This one here, which seems to be the troublemaker, will not come out. That is the troublemaker one. Yeah, so I guess this has gaskets on it, and it has like a little little weep hole in the back, if you could see. And I guess the oil comes through here and gets on the guides. That's pretty smart. That is probably one of the smartest things that BMW have done for in a little while. Is to find a way to lubricate the chain. All right, so we're just going to loose this out. And then once we do that, then this one is kind of different. Does not have that lubrication system. This timing guide here is actually, that guide is metal. You have to tap that back in. Wow, why is it not coming out? You got to hold it in or something? That's putting tension on the guide itself. I'm gonna have to pop that back in, guys. So after we pop it back in, we take the tension off it, and then we can be able to hold it in one place and get the screws off of it. As I'm ratcheting it out, it's actually pushing its way out. So if I don't have it in the proper place, it binds up against the guide itself, which we don't want, right? We want to get it off. I'm sure we're almost there. Uh-oh. Oh. I guess we were not able to get it out like that. We gotta wind it back in. Let's just wind it back in and release the tension on it. Release the tension on it. All right. Is there like a special way? Let me check here. Is there a special way to get this off? No, there's not. Unless this pin comes off, which would make some sense. How do we get that off? That pin comes out, maybe? Is there like an Allen that unscrew that pin? No, there's not. There's not an Allen that unscrews that pin. Anyhow, we're not going to worry with that for right now. I would have to figure out how to get it off. Or do the old stroke. You know what? Let me do the old strokey doke. Like I said, we're not going to be putting this engine back together, so it'll make things easier. We just want to figure out what the hell is going on with it, why engine actually not turning. So we'll just cut this off. There we go. End of story. That was completely off. All right, so that is it's actually a pin that goes right through the time that's preventing the timing chain from coming off. So once that's off, I don't know why then they just put a bolt, like a bolt right through it into the block, so you can get the timing chain off. You see that? Fucking geniuses, man. Now this can come off, right? See that? So this gets screwed into the block. It's like a threaded rod, basically. Gets screwed into the block, and then as you unscrew it, it pushes it up towards the cylinder heads. But you probably would have to install that before you install the cylinder heads. Probably that's what it is. So we're not there yet. But like I said, we're not using the engine back, so we don't really care what happened. All right, so we are going to upturn the engine once more, and maybe that might reveal the cylinder heads. And once we do that, then perhaps we'll come back to the crankshaft before we do anything. Boy, this is so easy by just cranking this thing around. With the manual one that I have out back, I have to actually turn it like that. You know? All right, so we're up here, top of the cylinder heads. I hope that we don't have to take off the. Good. So it looks like we might get away with not having to remove the camshafts to get access to the head bolts. All right? Don't have to do that, which is beautiful. Let's get the right socket. Get the right socket here. And I guess we'll put a breaker bar. Yes, that is kind of like what we want. Let's see if we're able to get. Let's get a breaker bar on it. Let's get a breaker bar on it, guys. Or a big ratchet. Get a big ratchet on it here. Yep. All right. Well, they come out pretty easy. So we might be able to actually use a gun, actually. Doesn't have that much torque. They usually do. Yeah, they come off. Come right off. Oh, shit. I bet I didn't know that. Look at that. Then there's going to be one, I'm sure. It's coming. See that? That is the difference between good old school air gun and they have an electric gun, you know? And that's only like a mid-torque DeWalt. See that? You can never stop that. Air and hydraulics, I don't care what you bring. It's never going to stop them. Air power and hydraulics. Any real mechanic would tell you straight up he prefer using air power to do all of his work. You know, it never failed us. You know, we usually buy the ratchet, but they last for years. But you know, with these electronic guns, you know, and the way we abuse them, you'll be lucky if you get a year out of them. You know, before they start showing signs either the battery is getting weaker or something is going on with the damn ratchet itself, and try to get a warranty on it and see how that works. Try to get the warranty. All right, so. All right. So we got one bolt left right there. Guess we can use this little freaky one and get it out. And then we move on to the other side. We'll take off, where's the magnet? Where is the magnet? Come on now. Come on, Mr. Magnet, where are you? Where did I drop you right there. All right. I'll set that down in there. Now, the camshafts, right? We are going to try to rotate one of them because apparently we need to do that in order to get some of the access to the bolts that we just took off the cylinder heads. All right, so these are fit for shit. We'll take these back to the box. And we'll come back with two bigger ones to be able to gain access to the camshafts. Well, those are way big. Let's hope this one fits. Ah, yeah. Okay, guys. Camshaft number one. Rotated nicely. That one rotated nicely. We get the bolt out. Camshaft number two also rotated nicely. So I just want to know what you're thinking at this point. 1 and 2 camshaft. Nicely. That one I would actually have to get the eccentric shaft sensor off to pull that bolt out, but we can probably pop the whole head off with it. So, guys, on the right side cylinder head, the camshafts on both camshafts are rotating nice and free, and we are going to try to pop the cylinder head off of the vehicle right now. All right, so okay, we got a bolt. I got one more. Take off this water hose here real quick. This used to be a pain in the ass back in the day from all the heat. It'll go bad. That's on one side. We'll get the other side off while we're at it. Usually have to replace this hose anyway, but like I said, we don't really destroy, so we will try to do things the way we learn how to do it. All right. Good. So let me get this tool and be able to pry on that and get that off there. We're not trained to destroy, so we'll get it off the way we learn how to do it. All right, so that's off. That should have been off before, so we just set it to the side over here in the pile. And we're going to attempt to raise the cylinder head up. We still have the knock sensors on them, which we don't want to. Okay, there's two on this side and two on the other side, perhaps. All right, let's try. It should come up. Yep. Comes the cylinder head, right side head. Right side cylinder head comes up, and off the vehicle, guys. This is what it looks like in the bottom of it. And like I said, all the camshaft, they're rotating properly. Jesus Christ, this thing is heavy. This thing is heavy. Ouch. Now, looking down in the cylinder, if you guys can see down in the cylinder, I'm just going to let me just turn the lift here a little bit. If you see down in the cylinders right here, lots of carbon. Like I said, I really do think that the engine has 50,000 miles, like the guy said. Supposedly, it should have been a running engine, but the mystery oil didn't help out a lot. This is the gasket that's coming off of it, which also looks pretty clean and like it's in good shape. So I do believe that the engine has 50,000 miles. But what I don't understand is why the engine would not rotate. That has definitely got me, right? So what we need to do is put back that crankshaft bolt back in there and try, if I can find it here, we will try to rotate this goddamn engine. Where in the hell is the bolt at? Where is the bolt? How the fuck did I misplace that? Where did I misplace that? Is it back in here? No, it's not. Uh-oh. It is a disaster around here. Where did I put that bolt? We are looking for the crankshaft bolt. Crankshaft pulley bolt. Where are you? Where are you hiding? Gotcha, right there. All right, this is the crankshaft pulley bolt. We will attempt to put it back on. You don't want to put the pulley back on. We have to pull that off again. We're going to attempt to put it back on and try to see if we can rotate the engine. Okay. We'll try to rotate the engine. Okay. All right, so that's back on. I'm gonna grab the big breaker bar here. I'll just back this up so you guys can see a little bit better. We'll grab the big breaker bar and we'll set it on here. We're gonna go to the right side first. And it's still not moving. And this is going in more. Oh, shit. Oh, it's not moving. Wow. That did not move with all of the timing chains off the vehicle, and that is still not moving. We will get let's just get the wrench again, and we're going to attempt to rotate the camshafts on the driver's side, which they rotate nice and free. They are moving nice and free. They are moving nice and free. So guys, that left me with something that's going on down on the lower block, right? And we're going to find out whether it's we have stuck pistons or we have a problem with a connecting rod or something like that. So let's just get the cylinder head off. Good old air power. Good old air power, baby. Ingersoll Rand gun. All right. So we got one more bolt left, and it has the eccentric shaft in the middle of it. But I'm gonna have to try and do a freaking workaround because I do not want to go down there. We are looking for a swivel socket that can perhaps get around that head bolt. And we should be able to get something because I am not in the mood to pull the eccentric shaft off of that to gain access to the head bolt. Right there, it's a little, and it's always, then there is one. There's always one. All right, so good. So we gain access to that one right there. Use the small gun and try to spin it off a little faster here. All right. So that's off. Let's move on over here and grab the magnet so we can pull some of them off out of here, and then the washers fall right off of them. They fall right off. That one coming up with the washer. Oh, get you. These are the head bolts, BMW head bolts. This might not be reusable. Probably just one-time use only. One-time use head bolts. All right. Oh, still got one more bolt over there. Still got one more bolt. Eccentric shaft bolt. We might not be able to get that one. We might not be able to get that one out right now. Eccentric shaft bolts. Eccentric shaft bolt. It goes off. All right, set that down in there. And we're going to get one more bolt. One more bolt. This goes back over here. Get the right tool. Let's just get the right tool here. Good old titanium Ingersoll Rand. So that is the bolt that the eccentric shaft usually affects. It would not come out with the eccentric shaft install. Sensor, actually. Off with the dipstick. This is something not a lot of manufacturers are keeping on their vehicles right now. I just don't know why the fuck when they have a dipstick on every vehicle for the oil pan and the transmission pan. I just don't know why. Makes no fucking sense. It should be criminal for them to leave this kind of stuff out. because the electronic gauges are not reliable. So we have a lot of Range Rovers that are blowing lower end rods and stuff like that, you know. And who knows? This might be, well, you know, I don't know. I don't want to go off on a rant. So let's just get this cylinder head off. All right. Cylinder head number 2 also looks good. And the valves are in good shape. So maybe if somebody's looking for heads, we can sell heads. Back in the day, they used to smoke a lot. See a lot of smoke. It had bad valve seals on these engines. Off with the valve cover gasket. With a cylinder head gasket. One thing I do know, you don't want to fuck around with these. They'll definitely chop your ass. They will chop you. Take you right out of commission. This is the other side head gasket, which seems to be in pretty good shape. And that just leaves us. We're going to try to crank it over one more time. The piston looks good on the top. On top of the pistons, they look really, really nice and clean. Minimal carbon on top of the pistons. But I just don't fucking know why this engine would not rotate. You know? That beats me. It's just weird, you know? We'll try it one more time. One more fucking time we'll try it. You know? And you can see I'm cranking. And you can see the muscle in my right arm. I'm trying to rotate this engine and it would not move. It would not move. So now, what the fuck do we do? We'll just go down, leave the valley pan in. This is usually a pain in the ass to get to. There's a kit that they sell. You can, once you take the pan off, rather than going to the back with it, and this is an upgraded one, you would cut the shaft off and you would get an adjustable shaft to fit that. But they must have corrected it with this BMW right here. All right, so just gonna jump on over here. We're going to pull off the timing cover, not the timing cover, the rear main seal here. And that is kind of tight. That's what we should have removed before. But hopefully we have a socket system that can go around that to gain access to it. Let's hope we do. Let's hope we do. Socket system that can go around this here. All right. I don't know if you guys are all familiar with how some of these I have to use sockets. Wrenches. What are we gonna try? Well, maybe I can get a smaller. Let's see if we could. We can get a 1/4-inch ratchet in there. But thinking about these freaking things, these heads are so big. You can't probably do that. What the fuck is it? All right, so we got a 10. We're gonna try to slide it on. Can we? We cannot. We cannot get it in the back there. So we have to use a good old 1/4-inch flex head